So an insurance agent loses his franchise? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So let's talk about Juneteenth. Now, it's been made into a national holiday, and this is a holiday that basically celebrates the ending of slavery. Now, back during the Emancipation, when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, ending slavery in the United States of America, you can imagine that everybody didn't get the memo. Again, it's not like we living in the information. They were living in the information age back then. You know, there was no social media, no TV, no network, nothing back in the 1800s, mid 1800s, when slavery was ended. So it took a while for everyone to get the information that slavery was ended. Juneteenth celebrates when a group of slaves or people in Texas found out about it. Now, this has been a celebration that I found about this in like my mid-20s, and I was listening to Tom Jones the Morning Show. I had never heard about this prior to that, and I had never really celebrated it. And honestly, I don't know anybody who's actually celebrated, but apparently this is a holiday that black folks have been celebrating, and that's, why it became a national holiday. Now, there was an insurance agent who's also Allstate and Progressive, and they basically lost their franchise. And for what? Well, they posted this on the door because Juneteenth now being a national holiday and government being shut down. Of course, private businesses don't have to shut down, but he closed his door and he posted this. They closed their doors and they posted this notice on their front door. Now, with all of the real issues that we have to deal with as black people, this is the type of nonsense that we waste our time on. We're not worried about all, the mass murder that takes place amongst black people, the mass violent crime that we commit, or children running around in Pampers. We're not worried about that. We're worried about a sign about black folks eating collard greens and fried chicken. As if black people don't eat collard greens and fried chicken. And what kills me is that collard greens is like a source of pride for black people, because they'll say, we so creative that the white man gave us the stuff that they didn't want and we took it and we made something of it. Well, if this is a source of pride for you, then why would you get upset about somebody telling you to eat it? Now, of course, the race hustlers, they always jump on board. So let's hear what old Phil Scott had to say.
So Harry Reid Insurance in Millinock, Maine have posted a sign for Juneteenth. Check that out. Allstate and Progressive dropped them as a carrier, for their particular insurance company. But this is what I don't understand about these white supremacists. Y'all mess up your money. I don't get that. It's like, I don't hate nobody that much to mess up my money, man. I don't get, listen, I got to pay my bills. I got to feed my kids, got to feed my dog, got to do all kind of things I got to do. Why would I mess that up when you know good and well putting something out there like that will get the money taken away from you? I told y'all, the white supremacists is not the sharpest knives in the drawer. They're not. That's why they need everybody else to help them run the country. Because you leave them up to their own devices, the country gonna get worse than what it is now. That's why they import so many people in here, because they know they're not smart enough to run anything. Let's call it what it is. And we see this every single day. Look at what's going on right now.
Now, I have to ask the question. We always have to ask the question. What if a black insurance agent would have did something that similar to this? What if some black insurance agent would have put up a sign, something concerning white people, go out and celebrate with your bland potato salad, because we know it's very derogatory statement of blacks believing that white people don't put seasoning in their food. This is something that you often hear amongst black people, and black people say nonsense like that all the time, and it just gets swept under the rug. But would that black insurance agent have lost their franchise if they would say something similar? Probably not, because then black folks would have lost their mind, and it would have been pressure on the the Allstate and Progressive not to cause them or take their franchise from him. Because like I say, black people do and say stuff like this all the time. And this is from a group of people who are supposedly oppressed, right? You're so oppressed that you can say whatever you want by just about anybody and receive no retribution. The same thing if a white person say the same, all hell comes down on them. Now, I just, like I say, something I just cannot get over and just never will be able to get over. You know, being a logically driven person, I can never get over the fact that of the things that black people, what we choose to ignore and what we choose to lose our mind over. It just doesn't make any sense. It's really sad that we're worried about a sign in the store compared to all the real issues that we have to deal with in America and the ones that we commit and do to ourselves. Self-inflicted problems in the black community we continue to ignore, but we're going to sit here and cry about a sign in a store. And this is a perfect example of how, at the end of the day, this is all about being a victim. It's not about benefiting black people. It's all about black people just being victims, and they just revel in the victimhood of race nonsense. I'm supposed to be upset over somebody putting up a sign in a window over some collard greens and chicken. And as I say, I always say, black people, we are 13% of the population, and more than half of the murders, more than half of the violent crime. You'd think this would be a high priority to us, but no, just race hustling. Again, yet another example of why foundational black Americans aren't getting nowhere in this country, while every other race or group are. It just makes absolutely zero sense. Anyway, I don't believe that this insurance agent should have lost their franchise over no nonsense like this. But I can't blame the insurance agents, though. I mean, insurance companies, because they have to respond based upon what's considered politically correct today. Because if not, they're coming after you. Anyway, y'all, this is my two cents on this insane nonsense. When are we gonna wake up, black people? When are we gonna start worrying about the real issue? And as always, y'all, until next time, absolutely sad.